Okay, I'm moving that old Sidekick plow to the new RTV. And there's one step that I found that you don't want to skip when you're doing this. First thing I had to do is swap out the struts. There's an old video about doing that on the Sidekick, but these heavier duty struts are required by Kubota for plow, and they do raise the front up probably about 1 inch, you'll find when you're setting it up. And I looked for a plow mount from KFI for this new RTV, and I didn't see any listed for the X. I actually found out that my old Sidekick plow mount would bolt up to the frame. It wouldn't match on the top, but I did have a couple pieces of 1/4 inch thick steel brackets that I took and bent up, drilled some holes in, and was able to mount it to the reinforce it and mount it to the bottom of the bumper there. I did wind up drilling 2 holes in the bumper for those bolts going up through, but you can see it's really nice strong setup, and it's not relying on that thin metal front bumper that they've got on this unit. So I think it'll work. KFI says you shouldn't do it, but you know, I'm going to try it, and I think it's stronger than the option they offer that they really don't even list. But anyhow, so what I found out was when I originally put this on the Sidekick, when I angled it, it was never flat. It always sat up in one corner that was angled. And that's because I skipped the step of leveling it. Now, I went on the KFI website and I found this little pin height guide where you go in and you have to measure the height of the center of the mounting pin and that off the ground, and then you go by this chart here to determine which leveling brackets you need. So I just I measured up to the center. Well, you can't see there, but it's the center of that pin that mounts the plow down to the floor, and I got about 13 3/8, so I'm going to round it up to 13 1/2. And I ordered the correct brackets that they called for, and this is supposed to fix the leveling problem of it. So they just go in place of the stock ones. Now, if you're putting on a new plow, you should order them up front, and then you don't have to remove these old ones. But I'm going to swap these out now, and hopefully this will solve, you know, all my problems with the corner of the plow digging it in the dirt and the gravel. And there's the old bracket that came off, and there's what the new bracket looks like. So you can see there's that 2-inch drop difference right there. And they make them all different, you know, drops depending on your installation. And then they give you new hardware with it. And, you know, you always want to put new nylon locking nuts in. You don't want to ever reuse them because they only good for one use. So this doesn't really take too long to swap over. Be quicker if I had a M12 ratchet, but maybe someday I'll get one. But anyhow, just you know, just swap them over. They give you all the hardware and everything lines up perfect. And there you can see the difference in the drop when you look at them. So I got them both mounted. Stick the pin back in, and got to go back and check this out, see if it actually worked. So there it is. You know, there's really not that much difference, but if you look down there, that plate is actually parallel to the floor now, so there'll be no more, you know, tilting down as you rotate it. And there you can see it's nice and flat now when it's tilted. So, you know, that's what you have to do to solve that digging problem if you're not plowing flat. And it did tip it back a little bit on the actual skids. It angled them up, which will probably be better too. And I'll just have to drop them. Right now it's sitting at about 1.5 inches, and I want it just about a little bit under 1 inch actually for the gravel. I find works best. So I'll just drop those skids a little, and there it is. So this is one step that you don't really want to skip if you want to, you know, do a proper installation of one of these KFI plows on any kind of a UTV. All right, so figured I'll just end this off by taking a ride around the yard. And I like to, you know, take things and ride them around and bounce them for a while, and then go back and retorque all the bolts and make sure that nothing came loose and everything is still tight. So I figured I'd take a good bumpy ride. And you can see it's It's a cool day out. Got dirty windshield, but all the leaves are down. Pretty much they've blown into the woods, most of them. So that's one good thing. I'm probably not going to bother cleaning them up this year. But it's about 40 degrees out now, so it is fairly cool. And there it is. All the leaves blew down to the bottom of the hill there. I'll clean them up in the spring because don't have a lot of energy or time to do it right now. So, and you can see I never really got down here and got everything mowed down. I started, but my wife got sick, and that was the end of it. So I'll get back to it in the springtime. She's doing much better now too. So everything's coming along good, and they did remove one of the stents there, and she's hopefully another couple of weeks she'll be feeling better. Let's just go around here and back up the hill, and I'll show you that this thing has not picked up any speed yet. This thing's like there's a reason why we called it slowpoke. The maximum it'll do going up this hill in the back with just me in it and a couple little bags of sand, but 6 miles an hour. No matter what I do, I can't get it over 6 miles an hour. Anyhow, I thought I'd just show you the proper way to install one of these plows and have it work right when you take and turn it. When it's flat, it doesn't really matter, but it makes a difference once you angle it. And I did put the 360-pound tubes of sand that I used in the Sidekick back here too. I'm not sure how much plowing I'll be doing with this. It all depends on if I get a plow for the tractor or not. But in the meantime, I had to get this set up, get it ready to go, just in case we get early snow while I'm still messing with everything else. And you see, I still got to do something more for the headlights up front there. I was going to try putting those round headlights up on the bar there, but it turned out they're just a little bit too low, so I'm going to have to do something with them eventually. But I did also get the heater and everything all wired up and working and plumbed into the diesel tank and stuff, so that's good. That's my defroster for the windshield, and does do a good job. Keeps the windshield from getting all foggy, so that's all it does, and it does it good, so I'm happy with that. And there you can see I put a bulkhead into the diesel tank there, so I'm just sucking the diesel fuel right out of that tank, and it's one less thing to worry about filling another tank. And this thing uses so little diesel, it doesn't matter. And I got my lights all wired up again. All my strobe lights are working, so I'm in good shape now, ready for the first snow. So in the end, all the parts from the Sidekick, actually the plow mount and the struts and everything worked in here. So, it really was just a matter of buying a couple of those brackets there to get it leveled up. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.